Fellow peoples of the Southern Cameroons, fellow Ambazonians, today is the 10th day of the month of December 2018. My name is Capo Daniel. This is my daily podcast to you. This one is titled Talkam. We have seen a report now in the United Nations Security Council regarding our struggle. And it mentions our Amber Boys as armed elements, not as terrorists or rebels as La Republique would want them to look like. This comes as a relief and shows us that the right of self-defense is a legitimate right that we have to embrace even more than ever before. Even though this report does not put our struggle in the context of a challenge of sovereignty being exercised by La République du Cameroun over our territory, or the question of declassification of our territory as a colonized territory into a decolonized territory that was wrongfully done by the United Nations. We had expected this and we had predicted this during the elections of La République du Cameroun. We expect this resolution to reflect what it indicates, which is a support to the Cardinal Tumi's Eli Smith's platform as a form of dialogue or negotiation, which is not what we want, which is not what we had advocated for. But it means that we have to take what Cardinal Tumi is doing more serious than ever before. And it also means that we have to come together to prepare for a future negotiation or dialogue. And we should not be shy to dialogue because we have a strong case. We can actually weaponize this platform and convince our own people and make our own case within our own people as we forge ahead and struggle to make our case in front of the international community with a third-party nation. But we have to prepare ourselves for this eventuality, as we will expect the African Union and the entire diplomatic corps in Yaoundé to endorse what Cardinal Tumi and Eli Smith are doing. We have heard also from our boys of the ongoing disarmament scheme forged by La République, endorsed by the French ambassador in his last visit in the Unity Palace in Etudi. We have to educate and engage our boys to understand that we have to preserve the sacrifices that we have made so far, the memory of Mami Appiah, who was burnt alive, and all the sacrifices of our people, that we cannot flirt with the devil in this their scheme that is forged from hell to spit in our own face by attempting to lure our boys into their mad dog terrorist organization, Armée du Cameroun. We continue to insist to our people and campaign hard for the hit and run strategy, for the strategy of guerrilla warfare. There is no way we can equip an army of 10,000 men to prepare them for an eventual conventional warfare with La République du Cameroun. We have tried everything and we know this does not work. The formation of county by county that exposes our boys for annihilation by La République du Cameroun, organizing them to rise up within their various county, make them more prone to be identified and to be isolated and to be hunted down with boys who barely have then guns to protect themselves or to engage La République du Cameroun army on the battlefield. We are tired of seeing our young men die in such a manner. The way of special forces is the way forward, of guerrilla fighters, well equipped to the teeth, few hardened soldiers like we see in General Ivor, even in General Nambere or General Daiman. This is the way forward. We do not have the financial resources and we have to spend the little we have very, very smartly. We have to invest in these groups. These are the groups that Siseko Ayoktabi relied on, that the governing council as well as Kakuf have relied on. Dr. Ayabacho, Dr. Akwanga. We cannot continue this rejection of the cornerstone. We would want our people to put their resources where it would matter the most. Equip our boys to be able to face La République on the battlefield. Surprise attack, hit and run, strategically. People who can navigate the entire zones of Southern Cameroon without any impediment from any county groups. Working along with synergy with a block by block strategy of lone wolf, vigilante, neighborhood watch that provide a source of network of intelligence to the special forces. This is the future of our battle. This is the way we can use our resources effectively and diligently. We have to embrace it and stop all the political expedients that have led to the death of our young men unnecessarily. We have to engage our population as well. We are very happy that finally we have taken away the glory of La République du Cameroon in organizing the African Nations Cup, and we have to focus now in kicking them out of the Commonwealth and join the efforts that are ongoing by the various nationalist groups to do so. Our population have to engage even more than before in these efforts. For some people who are insisting that this platform is not focused as much to La République as it is focused to our infighting, we want to assure them that what we are doing is very important at this stage of the revolution. Of course, we have been focusing on La République. My associate, Eugene Ufoka, and myself, we have been engaged in backdoor diplomacy, helping the nationalist movement as activists. It is good for our struggle, for leaders who lack integrity, who have engaged in embezzlement of funds or misappropriation of funds, and who have active arrest warrant from the private sector, who have current issues being raised by witnesses. We have 10 witnesses who are willing and crying, who were scammed by Dr. Samuel Sarko. He is a damaged good. And we should understand that La République du Cameroon is working very hard within the international community to tell them who we are. We cannot let the integrity of one person to taint the entire struggle. Which noble do we expect to shake hands with Sarko after knowing who he is, the scam he has done to the people? People who think that for him to step down, it's a weakness. No, it is not a weakness. It is a strength. You see in the international community, people who face scandal every day, they drop down. It is seen as a reflection of democratic value. We have to be civil. It is nothing personal. It is for the sake of our struggle. Just imagine if we had put pragmatism ahead of expediency or popularism. Imagine if Mark Beretta, when he saw the scam of the county head right in the Zaria Fort, and if he had stood his ground and fought against that injustice, which was seen as unpopular move at that time, we could have been in a better shape. When Chris Anu came up with the strategy of annihilating the various armed forces on the ground, if we had stood our ground, which was not popular, we could have been in a better shape. We could have saved SCBC, a legacy of Siseko Ayuk Tabi. We don't have to put journalism and popularism ahead of our advocacy. Sometimes it is a nasty job. It is not something that makes people to love you or to like you, but this is what it is needed. This is the panacea we need. We have to demonstrate to the entire world that we are a democratic people and give them an incentive to support us. Nobody in the world, no country is going to recognize us if we are demonstrating that we are not different from La République du Cameroon. We target people for assassination, blackmail people for no just reason, isolate people, be dismissive, embezzlement. Imagine the scale of embezzlement we have had or we have witnessed, the reports we are having from Ground Zero. If we had warned our people that it will come a time when the Amazonian fighters on Ground Zero will be making videos and audios against the struggle, they didn't listen. It has happened. We have warned them that Amber boys are going to drop their guns. They didn't listen. Now they are threatening. Nobody will allow himself to be used. If our leadership is focused on using the armed groups to raise funds and use that funds to enrich themselves and embezzle and engage in misappropriation of funds, it is going to affect our struggle adversely. Our boys will eventually drop down their guns if something is not done at that level. That is why, for the sake of our struggle, we are standing firm and calling on Sarko to step down, for somebody else within the interim government to take that place so that we can move forward. And we still have to unite ourselves. We are still expecting the leaderships to take the formation of SCACUV. We have now heard from Siseko more than we could hear before. And everything is going along that line. We need unity. We need every hand on deck. We need integrity. We need to be effective in whatever we do. We can win this thing, and we are winning bigly. But we have to be effective to make sure that we arrive in Buea at the shortest possible time. We don't have to wait another 11 months for people to realize what we are warning today. Let our leaders take the right move. Let the people in the IG, let them take the right position to make sure that they safeguard the integrity of the struggle, and that we can fight for the unity that we need. A unity that is not by choice, a unity that is going to require compromise from our leaders. God bless you. This is Capo Daniel.